regarding economics, right? Yesterday's class, just for a gist, I am explaining it again because yesterday I have dealt with two important topics, right? So, just an overall view about yesterday's class. Yesterday I said about the topic wants are unlimited. You know that, right? And resources are limited. Resources are limited, and these resources which satisfy the wants also have alternative uses. They have alternate uses. This is the important topic which I have explained yesterday. I took an example taking 1000 rupees. Okay, so this is an example. See, I told you that I have 1000 rupees and I have many wants with me. I have an option to purchase a dress. Yesterday I have dealt with this topic, right? I have a want to gift my friend, or I can buy a book with this 1000 rupees, and this was the example yesterday. So my wants are unlimited, but my resources are only limited, and these resources can be kept into, so they have alternative uses. That means with this 1000 rupees, with my resource, I can either purchase a dress or a gift or a book. So they are alternative uses. These 1000 rupees have alternative uses. And next topic is factors of production, right? There are four factors of production. There are four factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, and organization. Okay, in return for land we pay rent, and for labor we pay wages, and for capital we pay interest, and for organization we receive profits. So this is the topic I have dealt yesterday. Now, and even I have given an overview regarding the four definitions. Okay, first definition, we will deal with two definitions today and two definitions tomorrow. Guys, to be frank, this is somewhat a dry topic. These four definitions are somewhat dry. So please concentrate, and these are important topics. Almost 17 marks will be covered from this chapter, and main topic is this definition. Okay. So first, actually there are four definitions. First one is wealth definition. First one is wealth definition. Second one is welfare definition. If you want, you can note it also, or you can find it in your textbooks also. Third one, scarcity definition. Fourth one is growth definition. Okay. Wealth definition, welfare definition, scarcity definition, and growth definition. Wealth definition is given by Adam Smith. Yesterday I even said that he is known as father of economics because he separated economics from other social sciences, right? And welfare definition is given by Alfred Marshall. Next, scarcity definition is given by Robbins, and growth definition is given by Samuelson. Ma'am, should we remember all these names and all these definitions? Yes, you should remember all these names particularly. Okay, these are the main items which we will read in first chapter, and it carries almost around 17 marks. Okay, so first one is wealth definition. Wealth definition was given by Adam Smith, and he was the first person to separate economics from other social subjects. So he is known as father of economics. He has written his a book named An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nations. In 1776, he wrote a book regarding economics. Okay, and he is known as father of economics. So what is the book name? It is An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nations. Simply see, Adam Smith said that economics is a study of wealth. What is that? That means what? Money, right? So, but as per Adam Smith, wealth means goods. Okay, you know what are goods, right? Yesterday I have said you. Okay, so goods. Goods means all the products. That means raw materials are converted into finished products. Like, okay, I took an example of wood and a bench. So goods, bench is termed as a good here. So as per Adam Smith, wealth means goods. So he totally concentrated on wealth only. So Adam Smith definition is known as wealth definition. Okay, right? So wealth definition, what I have said, wealth definition is given by Adam Smith in the year 1776. His book name is An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation, and he mostly concentrated on wealth only. What wealth is here means it is only goods. Okay, according to Adam Smith, wealth means what? Goods. See, in society, do we only read about goods? Do we don't term about services? See, I am teaching you, that means I am providing certain services. Am I manufacturing anything? No, I am not manufacturing anything. But I am providing certain services. What I am doing? I am providing certain services. That is, I am teaching. Can you see my teaching? No, you can just listen to my teaching, but you cannot see like goods. So I am providing services. Goods are known as materialistic items. What are goods known as? Materialistic items. But what these services? These services are non-materialistic items. Okay, what are services? Non-materialistic items. That means we can only feel. Okay, you can feel my teaching, but you can't see my teaching. So which we can see is known as materialistic item, which we can feel but which we cannot see is termed as non-materialistic items. And Adam Smith concentrated only on production of goods, but he didn't concentrate on services. But in economy, that is in society, we will read about both goods and we will also read about services. Okay, so that one drawback about Adam Smith definition, that is wealth definition, is he concentrated only on goods and he didn't concentrate on services. What are services known as? Non-materialistic items. In simple, he concentrated only on materialistic items and he didn't concentrate on non-materialistic items. Okay, and here you can observe one thing. If you concentrate more on wealth only, then person will become what? Selfish. Am I right? But are all the persons selfish only? No. Okay. So if we concentrate more on wealth, that means man will become what? Selfish. But are we selfish? No. Actually not selfish. Okay. So he said man concentrated only on wealth. That is, he termed man as a economic man only. That means man will think about money only. Then for money, if a person will think about money, he will become selfish. So it is not a perfect definition. That's why there are certain drawbacks. Next, what he said is, he concentrated mainly on production of goods only, and he didn't term about how we will distribute these goods. Okay, so he said only about production of goods. That is, how we can manufacture goods. Okay, so how we can convert wood into benches. He talked only about this, but he didn't talk about the distribution side. Okay, how we will distribute these benches. Okay, he didn't talk about these distribution. See, for example, if I need 100 benches, but I have wood only for 50 benches, then I need 100 benches. He talked about only production of 50 benches because we have only wood for sufficient for 50 benches only. But I need 100 benches. that means there is scarcity. Okay, so this wood is not sufficient for this 100 benches. That means there is scarcity. Okay, there is insufficiency. Okay, so he didn't talk about this scarcity of resources. Insufficiency means there is scarcity. Okay, scarcity meaning is insufficiency. That is, this wood is sufficient only for 50 benches, but we cannot produce 100 benches. That is, there is scarcity of resources. Okay, so once again see, wealth definition is given by Adam Smith in the year 1776, and he wrote a book named An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nations. Okay, he concentrated mostly on wealth. Wealth means goods here. He didn't talk about services. What are goods termed as materialistic items, and he didn't concentrate on non-materialistic items. If we concentrate on wealth only, then man will become selfish. Okay, so he talked about all this, and he talked only about production of goods, production of wealth, but he didn't talk about distribution of wealth. So this is termed as a drawback. Okay, and see, Adam Smith is known as classical economist. What he is known as? He is one of the person in known as classical economists. Actually, who are classical economists? Classical economists are those persons who think government role is very less. Government role is very less in the society. They think that it will be good if government involvement will be less. Okay, so they think that there should be free economy. There should not be any rules and regulations. If there will be free economy, then we can produce more and more goods. So classical economists think that there should be less governmental role. Okay, so Adam Smith is a person who belongs to this classical economist. Okay, next, what are the criticisms? Yesterday I have said that Adam Smith gave some definition, and these economists will criticize Adam Smith. Okay, that's why a new definition came into existence. Okay, so what are the criticisms? As I have already said that they concentrated mostly on goods only, that is materialistic items only, and they neglected non-materialistic items. That is one of the drawback. And next, they even told that this is not a successful, okay, this is not a successful definition. Okay, they concentrated more on money and wealth only. Okay, so this is not that term. Okay, if we give more importance to money, then that term is known as mammonism. Okay, what is that known as? Mammonism. That means these person concentrated mostly on money only, but a man is not selfish. Okay, so that is not a successful definition. And next thing, certain other economists are there. They are Bailey, Carlyle, Ruskin, and so on. So they discuss that person, to give a definition, we should term person as an ordinary man but not an economic man. They said that we should term a person, that is, మనం ఒక person ని normal person అనుకోవాలి. Okay, we should term a person as a ordinary person but not an economic man. That means we should think a person as only normal person, that is not a person who will think more of money only. That is, they should think person as a ordinary person but not an economic person. You know who is an economic person? Economic person thinks only about money. But to give a definition, we should think a person as a ordinary person. Okay, so they actually persons should be ordinary person, but Adam Smith thought that persons are economic persons only. So this is also a criticism for wealth definition, that is Adam Smith definition. The next, wealth means it is not actually an end itself. Okay, it is a means to an end. Ma'am, we are unable to understand what you are teaching. Okay, see clearly. I have money with me. Okay, I have 10 lakh rupees with me. But if I have 10 lakh rupees, will car be in front of my house? No. Okay. So this 10 lakh rupees, I should go to the shop and I should purchase this car. So here others, okay. So other economists such as Marshall, Robbins and Samuelson, they are saying that wealth, to accumulate wealth, that is to gain wealth, okay, to earn wealth, okay, to earn wealth is not a want itself. See, now what is my want? To purchase a car. If I earn money, will my want satisfy? No. With this money, if I purchase a car, then I will be satisfied. Okay. So Adam Smith said that if we earn wealth, then my want is satisfied. But actually that is not correct. All the other economists are saying that this is not a end itself. End means what? Want. Want or end is one and the same. Okay. So my want ante, what is my end ma? My end is to purchase a car. Okay. But what is my means? My means is money. What is means? Means resource. Okay. Means resource. Wants or end means here car. Okay. So he is saying that wealth is not an end itself. Wealth is not my want. Is earning salary my want? No. To purchase a car is my want. So this is a means itself. Money is a means itself, but it is not a want. So if I earn wealth, that is not sufficient. I should purchase car. Then only my want will be satisfied. But Adam Smith is saying that only if I earn well, that will be enough. So it is also termed as a criticism here according to Marshall. Then I have already said they concentrated mostly on materialistic items only and they neglected immaterialistic items, that is non-materialistic items. So it is also a criticism in Adam Smith definition. Next, they concentrated mostly on production only. Okay, they concentrated mostly on production of goods only and they have neglected about distribution also. Okay, how we should distribute? I said I have 50 wood, 50 I have wood only to manufacture 50 benches, but I need 100 benches. Okay, so he talked about only production of 50 benches, but he didn't talk about how these 50 benches should be distributed to all the persons. Okay, how these 50 benches should be distributed to all the persons, because there are scarce. There is scarcity of resources. Okay, I need 100 but I have only 50. That is, there is scarcity of resources. This scarcity of resources, how I should distribute? He didn't talk. Adam Smith didn't talk about distribution of resources. So this is also a drawback. That is criticism for Adam Smith definition. This is totally about Adam Smith definition. In every definition there will be features and there will be criticisms. Once you read your book, then you will understand it wholly. After my teaching is completed, then you should refer your book. If you have any doubts, then we will provide you our phone number and you can contact us so that we can clarify any doubts. Okay, this is regarding wealth definition. Now let's go to welfare definition. Next, welfare definition is given by Marshall, and I have already said somewhat it is a dry topic and I can't do anything because this is actually a dry topic. If anyone teaches, then it will be like this only. Okay, now welfare definition is given by Marshall. Now what is welfare? He is saying that Adam Smith has said it correct. Okay, economics means wealth only, but he is saying that not only wealth, but we should also concentrate on human welfare. Okay, he is saying, Marshall is saying that a coin has two sides, right? Okay, heads and tails. And in the same way, Marshall is saying that economics means one side it is study of wealth, and the other side and the most important side is study of welfare. About whose welfare? Human beings welfare. So see, as Marshall is saying that economics means study of both wealth and welfare. Okay, it is a welfare of human beings. Adam Smith said that it is wealth. Then he criticized, that is Marshall criticized that if we concentrate mostly on wealth, then a person will become selfish. So he came with a new definition saying that man is not only selfish, but we should also study about human beings. Okay. So Marshall's definition is welfare definition. As coin has two sides, in the same way economics definition has two sides. One is study of wealth and the other is study of study of welfare. Okay. So what are the main features of welfare definition? And I have already said that it is study of wealth on one side and study of welfare on the other side. And Marshall also said that Marshall also concentrated on goods only, and he didn't consider services. Okay, he didn't consider services. See, I'm saying one thing. Remember, Adam Smith talked only about goods. He didn't talk about services only. Okay. It didn't. In his view, services are not there at all. Okay. But in case of Marshall, he differentiated goods and services, but he concentrated again on goods only. He also neglected services. See, Adam Smith didn't talk about services only in his definition, whereas Marshall, he differentiated goods and services, and he talked about goods only and he didn't talk about services. So he also limited the scope of this definition. Ante see Nana, definition ante meaning enti ante it should cover all the topics. Okay, definition ante enti, economics definition ante enti. If I say a perfect definition, then it should cover all the topics in one definition. But here they are talking about only goods. But we are talking about, we in our society, we even deal with services. But Adam Smith didn't talk about services, and welfare, in welfare definition, Marshall also didn't talk about services. So this is also not a perfect definition. Okay. So I'm again saying Adam Smith didn't talk about services only. Here Marshall talked about services and goods, but he didn't concentrate on services. Okay. This is also a drawback. Okay. Next, Marshall is saying that economics is economics is a study which should be like a physics. Okay, which should be like physics. See, physics is a perfect science. Okay, it is a perfect science. That means if every person, for example, see, chemistry example. Let's take chemistry example, because it is also a science. H2 plus O gives us H2O, right? For every person, okay, for every person, two hydrogen molecules and two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom will give us water. For every person, this is the same formula. And for every person, A plus B whole square is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB. For every person, this will be same formula. But in case of economics, we are talking about human beings. Are every human being the same? No. So Marshall is saying that economics is like physics only, is like other sciences, but it is not actually like other sciences, because Human beings are involved here. Every human being is not one and the same. Each human being will be different from the other. So it is not a perfect science. This will be also termed as a drawback only. Okay, next. He mostly concentrated on man only, and he mostly concentrated on man. Here Adam Smith concentrated on wealth and Marshall concentrated on welfare only. Okay, so these are the features of welfare. From features only. Actually, what are the features? See, there are certain points. Okay, from these features only we can take both advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so in these features only all advantages and disadvantages are included. Both advantages and disadvantages, when clubbed together, they become features. So in these features only we have criticism also. Okay, so what are the criticisms in welfare definition? See, economics apply only to human beings and it should be treated as a human science only and not as a social science. What is actually social science and what is a human science? See, social science means it is same to every person. Okay. So Robbins is saying that no, economics is not a social science. It is not same for every person. Okay, it is not same for every individual. So it should be treated as a human science. That is, every human being may be doing something differently. So it is termed as a human science, but it should not be termed as a social science. But Marshall is saying that it should be a social science. I have already said Marshall termed economics as same as physics. That is, it should be applicable for every person in the same way. But Robbins is saying that no, it will not apply to every person in the same way. It is different to different person. So it is a human science. Next, Robbins also criticized that he distinguished goods and services, but he concentrated only on goods and he neglected services. So this is also, he limited the scope. That is, he is not, in this definition, economics should include goods and services, but they are including only goods. That is, they are limiting the scope of the definition. So this is also not a perfect definition. Next, Robbins is saying that it is, Marshall said that he concentrated mostly on human welfare. See, there are certain products which gives us welfare, but the same products will not provide welfare to some other persons. See, a simple example. For example, some persons work in Singareni collieries. Okay. In Singareni collieries, road will not be very smooth. Okay. There will be ups and downs like this in mines. So drivers, when they go to hospital, doctor will suggest some amount of alcohol to them so that they can decrease their body pain. Okay. So alcohol. Okay. Alcohol. This alcohol is a medicine to some person and this alcohol is not good to some person. This alcohol is good to some person and this alcohol is bad to some person. That means whether this alcohol provides us welfare or not, can we say? No, because it depends upon person. For me, it may be essential, but for some other person, it may not be essential. It may not provide welfare. So this welfare is not same to every person. So if I say a definition, it should suit every person, but it is not suiting because welfare means this amount of alcohol is providing welfare to some persons and it is not providing welfare to some persons. So it is not a perfect definition. Okay, so Robbins criticized this. Okay, and another example given in your book is some drugs are essential to some persons and some drugs are and the same drugs are not essential to some persons. So this will also not provide welfare to certain persons. So we can't say whether that product is providing welfare or not. So it is also termed as a criticism. And here Marshall didn't talk about scarcity of resources. Okay, I have already said an example of 50 benches and 100 benches in Adam Smith definition, and the same fault has been made with Marshall also, and he also didn't talk about scarcity of resources. I have resources, but those resources are not sufficient for me. But both the economists didn't talk about scarcity of resources. They should talk about this important concept, okay? But both the economists didn't talk about scarcity of resources. So this is also termed as a drawback only, that is criticism, okay? So these are the two definitions which I have dealt today, and I will deal with these two topics in the next class. So remember, once refer to the textbook about these two definitions, and we can continue our class tomorrow. Okay, stay home, stay safe.